Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Fernando.
Welcome to the show.
So this is, of course, COVID time. 'Tis the season to be COVID. We have to clean all the cars out, Lysol, wipe them all down, get them all cleaned out. But that's not the point of the show. It's a Mustang. I know. It's like Ford, F-150, and then like Mustangs a lot lately. I apologize. It's just what happens, what's interesting. But this one, as you Mustang guys know, this one's special. We get a lot of questions about this car. It's just easier to film a video. What makes this Mustang special? Well, it has the Mach stereo in it. Let's take a look at it. So this car has already been worked on. He put a radio in it already. He's not happy with it. He likes buttons. This has no buttons. He did use the new Metra kit. So if you have one of these that has like the top screen and the inset screen down below, Metra is now making a kit for this car. As you can see, it looks rather nice. We've put them in before. Contains all your buttons. The radio powers these. In some cases. In some cases, there's another amplifier that's buried down here, and it powers these as well. These are little 2.5-inch mid-range. We'll take a look at those later once we get them apart, and we're gonna put some tweeters up there. Then you have 4 5x7s, one here, and 2 back there. That hump, that's another 2.5-inch. There's one located here, and one located here. There's 4 5x7s and 4 little 2.5, 3-inch thing. The things are where the balance and fader happen. Fade left, fade right, and all of those corners of the car. Those are what are moving. The 5x7s are not. Those are all mono, and they're powered off of 2 amplifiers that are located here and here in the trunk. This big plastic piece of stuff here, this has to come out. There's actually a 5x7 mount located here and here that we're gonna use to put our new speakers in. There's a giant umbilical cord that's attached to this. It all just unclips and comes out, but you do have to get the rear deck out first. The 3.5 thingies are located in this. We're not going to be using those in the rear because there's no purpose to. We're going to go with a coaxial that has a tweeter mounted in the center of it. Ideally, what we're doing is we're taking all this out and making it the base model stereo. But what that allows us to do is get some trunk space so that we can put an actual decent sized woofer in here, because this thing hangs down like 5 inches. It's a total waste. We're going to be putting a big sub in it. I think we're going to be putting a Rockford P3. Anyway, we'll see that in a minute. Let's take a look at the other equipment we're going to be putting in this car today. For radio, he's getting the brand new Kenwood Exelon DMX 957 XR CD DVD-less, or Mecha-less as I like to say. This is the premium. This is the XR, which means it has all the audio grade components. It has the better screen. It's a phenomenal player. It's definitely going to be an upgrade from the radio he has in there. And the one thing that he is most concerned with is it has buttons. He wants a hard volume button. He doesn't want to touch the screen. Next, for an amplifier, we're going to be doing the XR 901.5. We need something small and compact, mainly because there's just not a lot of extra room in the car to put amplifiers and such, and he still wants some trunk. He does some traveling in this, yeah, I know, and he wants to be able to still fit some luggage in the back. This is a small size amplifier with a ton of power. Also to think about is they're also both high-res compatible. That's kind of nice. We're also going to be doing an EchoMaster LFDPL in black backup camera. This has the faux dynamic lines. It uses some triplet of force, so as you turn, it turns. For the rear, we're going to be using the Focal Universal ICU 570 coaxial 5x7 speakers. And for the front, we'll be using the ISU 5x7 component speakers. This tweeter is going to go up in that little thingy pod. And then for odds and ends, he's going to get some roadkill sound treatment, some fast rings, some Stinger 4000 series RCAs, and of course a Stinger fuse holder for underneath the hood, and Stinger power wire. That's what we're putting in this. One thing that's fun about this car is he's restoring it. So he's starting to build it back to its former glory. It has a huge motor in it. He's doing a lot of work to it. One of the pieces in this car that is always just broken, and there's reason for it, is the door handle. As you can see, these doors, they've seen better days. They're not full plastic. This clip always breaks. It's held in place by this little spot here, which is that. Those typically break off. It's just not a fun piece. Now, these are new, and they still don't fit perfect, mainly because the door panel itself is starting to warp and, you know, fall apart. I don't think Ford thought people would be driving these that long. I mean, it's a Mustang. It's not like people keep those things for a long period of time or anything, right?
That was a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke. We're gonna let him take this door panel off, and then we'll come back to it and we'll talk a little bit more about the wiring inside of it. This is the wiring here and here. This one is obviously for the 5x7. This is obviously for the little Mach speaker pod. These are the wires that are going behind the deck. These are the wires we're going to be using. This is a mono wire, meaning that this is also connected to the 5x7, either located in that door or in the rear deck back here. We don't want to use those. If we were doing something like a full active stereo, then we would grab those wires in the kick panel because we don't need them connected to all their other stuff. For this purpose, because we're doing a smaller system, we're going to be using the passive crossovers that are built into those speakers. We want to use this. This is where a lot of people get confused. This is where a lot of people, like, they'll buy 5x7s and they'll use that wiring and then they'll be like, I don't get any tweeter sound. I put coaxials there and they don't make any noise. Why?
That's horrible.
It does. That's because they're still using those amplifiers. A simple solution, if you're going to be upgrading this, just putting a new radio in and let's say a new set of speakers in the doors, is connect them to those wires like we're going to be doing. If you have a convertible, it's the exact same way. In the rear deck, once we get that out, it has the same style connectors where it has two wires that are going up to the radio and then the rest of the wires are connected to those amplifiers. We'll be using those same two wires back there. That's one of the big secrets about this car that people just I don't get. On the amplified version of this, if you happen to have one of those, that little amplifier that's mounted in there, it works the exact same way. Those 4 speaker wires for the smaller pods are located in that. There is a harness that you can plug in, both Metro and Pack make it. It's an amp bypass harness for a Ford that plugs in. You'll get your 8 wires there that you can connect to the radio that you're putting in, power everything back up, and you're golden. A simple upgrade for this car would be to put in a new radio, a set of components like we're doing here, a new set of coaxials in the rear, use those 8 existing speaker wires, connect them up to your new radio, and you're rocking and rolling and everybody's happy. We're going a little bit more than that, but just so you understand how the basic system works. As much as I don't want to, I'm going to be hopping into the back of the car now, taking the back deck out. Pack a lunch. The first thing you need to do to get to your speakers is remove the back bottom seat. Don't pull on it. There's little tiny clips, it just unclips. They're right in the center. Reach in and you push here and it'll pop right out. Every Mustang has some form of this, whether it be on the seat or here. Never just yank on a Mustang. You'll break the seat. When removing the back of the Mustang, it really starts on the running boards. You start at the running boards. That allows you to get these side panels out. You have to pull this whole back seat area out, and eventually what happens is this piece comes out. If you're trying to get the whole back of the car out like we are, because we have a bunch of wires to run. Otherwise, you can fold the seats down, remove this piece here, and this is carpeted, just a cardboard. You can kind of push up from the middle and turn sideways, and then just the back piece will come out. Fortunately, we got to pull the whole thing. Be super careful with this piece of the car. More than likely, it's going to be broken. These always snap off. With the back of the car all apart, that gets us access for running our wires as well as getting to this rear deck here. Let's take a closer look at that rear deck. Here is your little 2.5 thingy speaker, your 5x7 subwoofer, and then the matching set on that side. All these screws here just need to come out, and then the whole thing drops down and you can unplug it. It is kind of heavy and it is going to drop down. There's about a dozen little clips and plugs that you want to remove. They all will come off of this umbilical here. Two that stay are these. These are the ones that run up to the radio in the front. These are the ones we're going to reuse. If you have a base model car, they're still there. These are the same wiring. They just add this for the Mach stereo. This giant thing gets to come out. There's one mono amp and there's the second mono amp. It's heavy. It's definitely heavy. It's a solid piece of plastic, which probably is why you get such good bass response out of these 5x7 inch subwoofers. It's the same thing that's in the front door, same thing that's in the front door there. Yeah, that's it.